A lot of people love fantasy and adventure movies, not just because of all the excitement in the stories and all the action it's packed up with, but the energetic experience it provides for the viewers. They are not easy to make, but for the fans, they easily trend. That's why I'm pretty sure you have heard of Jungle Cruise. Since its release in late July, it has been spreading like wildfire. I mean, you can't expect anything less with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt appearing in the same movie, right? Reviews for this film are all over the place, and frankly, there's a lot to be said. But this video is not just going to be us telling you what we think or feel about this movie. No, just sit tight, because today at Mouth Corners, we're going to be telling and showing you what everyone thinks. Reviews, ratings, comments, the whole lot. So let's get to it, shall we? So here we are, the Jungle Cruise Google page. So we can see from here the movie is 2 hours 7 minutes long. I'm just going to go ahead and click this because you've seen the movie. So here IMDb is rating 6.6 out of 10. We have Rotten Tomatoes rating at 62% and Metacritic rating at 50%. We have 78 people who liked this movie, 78 Google users who liked this movie. So we can already see that the casting choice was pretty great. We have these two, alright, Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt playing the lead characters. We have Jack Whitehall as well, playing McGregor Houghton, the brother of Lily Houghton. So back to the ratings, we have an audience rating summary of 4.1 out of 5 stars, rating from 4,162 people. And that is great. Moving on to the actual audience review, we have reviews from over 1,400 people on Google. So let's take a look at that. Basically, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be working our way down from 5-star to 1-star. So we're going to be taking at least one comment from each of these stars so that we can really get a good look at what people think about this movie. So let's get into it. First, we're starting from here. Rob Knapp rating 5 stars. This film was a total visual smorgasbord. Highly entertaining, funny, full of action, and an all-round good time. Okay. First, when I read smorgasbord, I thought it was some kind of sandwich, but technically that is a reference that he is making, that all of this stuff put together really made the movie what it is. Okay, now moving on to 4 stars. We already know what they're gonna say is 5 star. The movie is great, the movie is amazing, everything. But let's get to the more interesting reviews. Bruce Gutterman rating 4 stars. This movie is not complicated, just pure fantasy, enjoyable escapade entertainment. Isn't that what we go to the movies for? I know that I do, and I have been an avid movie fan for nearly all of my 74 years. Wow. It's nice to see a true story at the movies, at least once in a while. Okay, this is a great review. Let's see. About 491 people found this comment helpful. This is great. Let's move on. Now to 3 stars. We're starting to get a little bit more interesting than we were, okay? Okay, Andrew Milligan rating 3 stars. Okay, family entertainment, fun ride, was a decent throwback to the older adventure films. Story, a girl and brother wants to find some petals from a tree that could cure any illness. It ain't gonna turn any heads. Well, if you put it that way, it's not going to turn any heads. Okay, this comment is starting to get a little bit more interesting. I know I said one from each, but let's take a little bit more. We have here Luke Rota, a big adventure ride for the whole family to take. It's a mix of the Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, The Mummy, and Tomb Raider. It is a really fun film with lots of humor, action, animals, heart, and a few hidden messages scattered about. A typical Disney film, right? Okay. So, basically I've been getting a lot of these, been seeing a lot of these comments where this movie is compared directly to these films that are listed here, especially Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones. We're going to be getting to that a little bit later. Let's take a look at the 2-star raters. It's getting more interesting. Okay, Jono Kitchens rating 2 stars. This film was at best moderately entertaining thanks to decent performances from its cast, but if it is set in the Brazilian rainforest, then why does everything have Spanish names? Okay, yeah, I feel this is a very good point. Like if you are going to have a movie based on a particular place, I feel that you should properly represent that particular place. Like have names and languages well represented at that particular place. And in this note, we're talking about the Brazilian rainforest, the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. So yeah, Jono has a very good point here. So let's take a look at one more review from 2-star raters. We have Max here rating 2 stars. I was honestly looking forward to this movie, but it could have been a lot better. For one, the ending seemed incredibly lazy to me. Maybe I was missing something, but there didn't seem to be any kind of explanation for what happened. It just happened for what? Convenience? The power of love? Too cliche. Okay. Alright. I really don't have anything to say to that right now. But let's get to the most interesting part, okay? The 1-star raters, the angry people, the critics. Let's take a look at that. So, 1-star rating, Jared Camera. Okay, a jumbled mess that kept me more confused about the direction it was taking than developing a fun narrative. Alright. Want some Pirates of the Caribbean? Unexplainable yet somehow repetitive ghost story that fails to do anything but provide some vague paranormal threat to tie into the protagonist's history. There is no Jack Sparrow here though, no Will and Elizabeth, no Barbossa, no charm or announcement in any of the characters who seem to be briefly mildly annoyed with each other instead of having competing ideas to drive the tension. In fact, the film has no tension at all, despite the obvious attempts to recreate the pirate formula. Okay, well, this film really is similar to Pirates of the Caribbean, but like I said, a lot of these comments are fair, but I feel some things are being blown out of proportion here. But here you go, 240 people found this comment helpful, so what can I say? Let's move on. Asiloma, rating 1 star. Compared to the Pirates of the Caribbean, this movie was absolutely terrible. Wow. I highly regret wasting the $30 for premiere streaming access. It's really not worth it unless it's just for young people to watch, and they are the type that are easily amused, or you are. Wow, okay, this is harsh. Like I said, yeah, these people have good points, but woof, we're blowing a lot of things out of proportion here. Okay, let's get into it. Let's really get into it. What do we think about this movie? Do we like the movie or not? Well, the movie has great reviews and also some poor ones. Poor but fair, if you ask me. There is a thing with storytelling that tends to flag out similarities to other previous work. And I've seen a lot of people get pissed about that. Why? Well, people simply just want to pay money to see something new and fresh, not a remake of a previous idea. But here's the thing. There's a lot of characteristics that tells difference between stories. The way they are told, it is what drives them to a different category. You can tell a story of how a guy walked up the stairs and a whole lot of people would not think anything to it. But I might tell the same story and had a detail about how he almost tripped, and a lot of people would suddenly be into it. Not because it's unique, but because I told it differently. So Jungle Cruise may share similarities with some other jungle or pirate movies, but it's seasoned with other stuff like humor, bravery, craziness, and all of that. Not that these other movies may not possess the same exact similarities, but the way they are constructed was quite positioned differently, and that is what gives Jungle Cruise its own feeling. Initially, I thought Disney was going to do a Bravestone type thing with Dwayne Johnson all over again, but turns out it was just a really crazy con artist. Back to the comments. I believe everyone has a right to their opinion, but just because you don't like something doesn't mean everyone else has to hate it too, unless it's really bad. And we can turn this over and say the same thing. Just because you like something doesn't mean everyone else has to like it. But the way you talk about something should show how you feel, not how everyone should feel. So, is the movie unique? No, it is not. There are similarities to other movies that even Disney has worked on before. Does that mean you already know what to expect? Well, if you're already so good at predictions, I guess you could piece together a couple of things. Other than that, you're good. Is the movie worth paying to see? Well, yes. If you're into fantasy and adventures, this movie will definitely still deliver the thrills. It's fun-filled and it's great for kids too. And trust me, you do not want to miss Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt's fine chemistry on screen. Initial question, do we like this movie or not? Well, you can already tell, we do. The ratings are above average. Besides the similarity thing, the reviews are mostly good. 4.1 out of 5-star ratings from the fans, that is huge. And based on what we've seen from the movie ourselves, we're going to give it a like. So there you have it guys, that's all we have for you today. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, ring the notification bell for more. Have a great rest of the weekend guys, we'll see you soon.